Good morning. Welcome to worship with the community of First Unitarian Church of Omaha. I'm Reverend Sherry Woodbury, the minister here. Whether you're attending online or in person, I'm glad that you have chosen to join us for this very special Sunday service. We come together for worship, which from the Latin means to remember that which is of worth. And so we return together each week to lift up our highest values, and this week we'll do it in song. A special welcome to visitors. This congregation is a community of all ages and abilities. It is a community with a rainbow of gender and sexual identities. It is a community of diverse cultural and class backgrounds. We draw from many sources of inspiration and share common liberal religious values. Whoever you may be, we welcome you to bring your whole self into this community. Our worship services vary considerably from one week to the next in topic and tone. So if you are new here, I encourage you to visit several times to get a sense of this community and its worship life. Joyfully, today we resume a beloved tradition that we had to skip for a couple of years during the pandemic, the annual Choir Sunday. Advance thanks to William Miller, director of the Sanctuary Singers, accompanist J Gawf, and all of the singers for preparing a feast of music to feed our spirits. If you're joining us online, I encourage you to create a YouTube account and sign in when you attend that way. This will allow you to participate in the comments, for example, for joys and concerns. You can also subscribe to our channel and share videos you like with others. If you're here in person, you are invited to go downstairs to the common room after the service for coffee and conversation. Meanwhile, if you are logged into church Wi-Fi and don't need to be, please put your phone on airplane mode during the service. I have a few notes for you. Elementary-aged children may go directly to their classrooms this morning so they can dig right into their planned activity today. With all the music, we're not going to have a children's story during worship today. If you didn't catch this, there also are printed copies of song lyrics at each door to the sanctuary if you'd like to follow along, or you can use the QR code in your order of service. If you find yourself curious about our music programs and opportunities to participate, you can use the QR code at the end of the program to learn more about that. I know William would be very glad to talk with you about potentially singing with this group next year, and we have other opportunities as well. Next Sunday, we're going to carry out another special tradition, the annual flower ceremony service. You're invited to bring one or more flowers per person. Flowers can come from your garden bed, from a meadow like wildflowers, or any other flower. If you don't have access to flowers, don't worry, there will be extra. This year's Intergenerational Flower Sunday will celebrate 100 years since the ritual was first created by Unitarian minister Norbert Čapek in Prague, Czechoslovakia. And lastly, next Sunday will also be the final Sunday that our organist of many decades, Patricia Will play for the congregation before her retirement from that position and a move east to be with her daughter. So I'm delighted that she's here today to add to our musical joy. And if you'd like to offer Pat well wishes in person, be sure to come in person next week, and you can join in the reception honoring her after next week's service. If you're curious about other things going on during the week at the church, you can use the QR code or links in your program, or grab a printed e-news in the foyer. And now, before we hear from Pat, I'd like to acknowledge that First Unitarian Church of Omaha occupies the traditional treaty lands of the Omaha and Oto-Missouri tribal nations, whose sovereignty existed long before the state of Nebraska. We'd also like to express our respect to other Nebraska tribes, including the Ponca tribe, the Winnebago tribe, and the Santee Sioux tribe, as well as over 170 other tribes represented in the Omaha area. And now Pat will get us into the spirit.
Gary Randall will light the chalice this morning as I share with you words from Marnie Singer. The chalice is the container, the space where the musicians and the listeners gather. The oil is the fuel, the hours of practice and the life experiences of everyone in the room. The wick is the instruments and vocal cords through which the music will flow. And the flame is the music which is created as if by magic. When the instruments are lifted, the breath is inhaled, and the downbeat is nodded. May this flame ignite the music within us all.
Now's a chance for all of us to sing. I invite you to rise if that feels good to you and join in our opening hymn, number 361. We'll do verses 1 through 3 of Enter, Rejoice, and Come In.
Today will be
You may be seated, unless you're in the choir. Each week, we share our blessings with others through a community offering. Half of the loose currency in the offering plate is donated to a local cause which resonates with Unitarian Universalist values. If you're online or prefer to give via your smartphone, you can use the QR code or link. Our Share the Plate recipient for May is the Ponca Express Transportation Program of the Ponca Tribe of Nebraska. Ponca Express assists low-income people in the Omaha and Council Bluffs communities in need of transportation at no cost. They also transport people in northeastern Nebraska communities. Some of church members use this service and are grateful for their help, and will enjoy another gift of organ music as this is gratefully collected. We come to the time for sharing of joys and concerns. When we share our joys, others can be uplifted by them with us. And when we share the challenges we face, our community can surround us with care. I've got several that were submitted in advance here. Della Gushin invites our joyful applause to Katrina Schmidt, who received her master's degree from University of Nebraska on May 19th. MBA, I believe. And Harriet Major shares more good news. She writes, I am happy to report that my daughter Nancy is showing marked improvement in her fight against cancer. The latest PET scan confirmed this improvement, and she'll begin treatment in a new program in June. So our joy and our healing and health wishes continue to go to Harriet and her daughter Nancy. And a little birdie tells me that Judy Torrington's daughter, Judy is our other music director of our contemporary music group, her daughter Jolena graduated from high school this week. Family and friends, yes, let's have one for all of our graduates. We're proud of all the graduates affiliated with this congregation. Her family and friends actually celebrated downstairs in our common room yesterday, and so you might notice the art display of Jolena's that is still there for us to enjoy during coffee hour. What do we have online, Colin? No? Okay. I think I probably speak for many when I express deep joy and gratitude to our choir director, and our pianist for the wonderful music today. All right, let's turn toward contemplation. You may wish to rest your eyes, check your posture, turn inward. After a pastoral meditation, we'll observe a brief time of silence for your own prayer or reflection. And I'll end that silence with the sound of the bell. First, I share this litany inspired by this morning's music. Praise be for music. Spirit of life, we give thanks for the jubilant songs that are offered up here and that we sing with one another. Praise be for music. Muse of music, may we hear the cosmic sound, not only out of the stars and in the mysteries of the earth, but in the beating of our own living hearts. Praise be for music. God of our understanding, open our spirits to possibility, that we may ascend toward the clouds and return to the ground, aware that the infinite energy of life from which we come, that same energy carried on each beat and tone, moves also in each creature, connecting us all. Praise be for music. Earth goddess, in the sound of the morning dove, let us hear the call of peace. And in the sound of spring peepers, let us hear the call of new life. Praise be for music. Praise be for music. I invite you to join in a responsive reading that you'll find printed in your program. Those on the piano half of the sanctuary, you can deliver the lines that are in bold with Connie, so you'll do it with her. And those here on the organ side can deliver the regular font lines in response with me. If you're online and you downloaded the program, take your pick. Let's begin.
Music connects us with the murmuring creek and the leaf strumming wind.
Music restores the voices and sounds of composers long gone and cultures far away.
Music can lift our spirits or stir a fire within us.
Music can acknowledge our sorrows and soothe our pain.
Music can unite us in spite of our differences.
When we blend our voices to share a song,
we open our hearts and bare our souls to connect with all that is holy.
Praise be for music. Music which can evoke in us peace like a river, love like an ocean, joy like a fountain, and so many other of our human emotions. Music which offers a powerful chemical cocktail, regulating our breath and nervous systems, stimulating the release of oxytocin, the hormone of connection, promoting a natural high with bursts of dopamine. No wonder music has become not only a kind of therapy administered in hospitals and recovery centers, but is the first choice of many when we are in pain and need to self-soothe. The great thing about music is that it has no negative side effects. If someone made a commercial for music, unlike the usual pharmaceutical ad, there would be no rushed and hushed list of warnings at the end. You know, side effects may include nausea, bloating, headache, irritability, the sensation of ants crawling on your skin, loss of smell, and insanity. Instead, an ad for music might go something like this. Music makes you happier, lowers stress, improves health, and reduces depression. Music helps you sleep, elevates your mood, strengthens learning and memory, and reduces pain. Studies show music can also help you regulate food intake, increase verbal intelligence, raise your IQ and academic performance, and keep your brain healthy in old age. All ingredients are bioidentical and harmless to the environment. Music is safe for people of all ages, genders, races, religions, and political parties. Any addiction you may experience to music is beneficial. You do not need to check with your doctor or pharmacist before self-treating with music. Nor is insurance coverage required to benefit from this therapy. Dosage is flexible, and you may safely share this elixir with others. Enjoy. It's one thing to sing in the car or sing along with the music playing in a store, something any of us can do. It's quite another thing to sing with a group, to do so with a degree of discipline, as a choir does. In many ways, I think a choir is a model for community. To be a good member of the choir, first of all, you have to come to rehearsals. Show up regularly. That's true in community, too. You can't build relationships in a place like this church or know what's going on in your city or country if you don't participate regularly. To be a good member of the choir, you also need to practice. Dedicated musicians will sometimes do this not just during the scheduled rehearsal time, but at home on their own, plunking out their part on the piano or singing along with a recording, which I know William sometimes provides. Communal life similarly benefits when the individuals that make up the group carry on some private disciplines that make them better group members. It may be a personal spiritual practice at home that gives you more patience and more detachment in all of your group interactions. It may be the discipline of keeping informed of what's going on in your church or your city. Now, to be a good member of the choir, you also need to keep a pencil handy and mark up your music, indicating where to get softer or louder, where to accelerate, which notes are staccato and which are sustained, whatever the choir director has told you. The pencil is a tool for capturing learning on the page, so the singer can be a more effective member of the ensemble. Well, in the rest of our lives, we likewise need tools we can use to remember what we've learned and to put into practice that information to help us and our ensemble, our community, perform well together. One of those tools in a congregation like ours is a covenant of right relations. If we make a commitment to using it, if we keep that pencil behind our ears, so to speak, the relational covenant can be a powerful tool for staying in sync with each other. Now, of course, if the pencil stays behind your ear all the time, or if the covenant is merely words on the website somewhere, then the tools won't do us too much good. We have to use them. The rhythm of music is even more entrancing when others are moving to the same beat as in a group. And the melody is even catchier when we hear the voices of dear ones singing it. But the genius of a choir, the real richness of a community, comes from the harmony. Have you been soaking in the harmonies we've been hearing from these singers? Our own experience expands when we listen to those who have different parts, different voices than our own. I, for one, love harmony. That's why I prefer to be on one of the inside parts if I'm in a choir. The harmony is juicier, giving depth and complexity to the total sound. Now, the choir director plays an important role not only by assigning parts and indicating how to mark up the music, but by listening with a trained ear to the total sound of the choir. Perhaps a bit like a seasoned minister or a consultant coaching a church community. In the musical community of the choir, the director can hear where notes may be wrong, where one section of singers goes sharp, or where the balance across the parts is off. Of course, a good director also helps the singers hear each other better so they can learn to correct themselves. So, rhythm unifies us, even entrains us together. Melody moves our spirits, and harmony adds a richness to human community. Altogether, the effect can be soothing, uplifting, or healing, especially if we are practicing good musicianship. But what about dissonance? Those times when one note rubs against another in a not so pleasant way. Like the conflict in a story, the dissonance helps create the emotional arc of a piece of music. Music without any notes that rub might be boring, lacking in direction. Dissonant chords, like difficult emotions or sometimes difficult people, give us important information about what is going on. Whatever its source, conflict invites us to listen more deeply. Sometimes dissonance is a clue that something is wrong and needs attention. Like when activists make their voices heard in the legislature, as this congregation has work to do, advocating boldly for bodily autonomy for pregnant people and for transgender people. In daily life, when we sing or listen to music, we can lean into the dissonance of a suspension. And more often than not, in the music, we enjoy the sweetness of resolution by the end of the bar. Now, in communal life, too, we are sometimes suspended, waiting for resolution from conflict to reconciliation. But resolution may not come as quickly in life. The work of living in community and perfecting our union is an ongoing project, and sometimes slow. Music can help sustain us as we continue these efforts over the long haul, be it activism in the world at large or our relationships with one another inside our communities. And then there are those moments when music carries us out of ourselves so profoundly that we might have intimations of a larger whole to which we belong. Indeed, through the gift of music, let us open our hearts and bare our souls to connect with all that is holy. May it be so. Amen. they're not quite done yet. We got one more. I think that's a record for how many times I've gotten chills in one service. Praise be for music and for those who offer it to us. With gratitude and delight, let us continue to share with one another the gifts of music. So may it be. Amen.